Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Adventures with the Trendsetter. Here is your master of ceremonies for the evening, Brian Berga.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for Adventures with the Trendsetter. I'm so happy to have our guest here, Carmen Valentina, guys. If you guys don't know who she is, what is wrong with you guys, honestly? You guys can catch her on Twitter at Club Carmen XXX. You guys can catch her on Instagram at Carmen's Booty. Very nice. And her website, CarmenValentina.com, which I'm sure she spends a lot of time working on. Carmen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. First, I have to ask you, before we start recording here, how's your day been so far? It's pretty busy and pretty hectic. A lot of traveling.
So, yeah, I've been nonstop traveling. I feel like I've only spent like a few days at home like this whole summer.
I know,
but it's good. Busy's good. Busy pays the bills, so that's good.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Busy is a lot better in terms of, you're gaining money and you're paying the bills, which is really important for anybody. I mean, I'm working four or five jobs myself too, so if I'm busy, it's great, and time to go by is faster too, so you don't feel the pain as much because not only are you traveling today, but like we talked about before, you're going to be traveling pretty soon to an award show in Tampa. You're going to be doing Exotica, and you're going to be doing AVN in January in Las Vegas. So does it really feel sometimes like you're living out of a suitcase, or do you have that break where you're going to celebrate your birthday pretty soon in January, but do you have that break where you can kind of like just settle down and kind of just reprocess the brain of, let me have just like a week off in the sense of just have a normal existence?
Once in a while. So I hate living out of a suitcase too. Like it's just... like I have 5 suitcases filled with all different things from like different trips, and then when I get home, the last thing I want to do is take it all out and like
I'm the same way.
I literally have like 10 suitcases, and I always need more because then those suitcases start getting worn and tired. But yeah, having the break once in a while, it feels good. I just sometimes I gotta go get a massage or something to treat myself.
So is that how you spoil yourself? Get a nice little massage, full body massage to kind of replenish the body?
Oh yeah, you gotta get the massage. Oh, I'll get like a 2-hour because 1 hour is just too quick. So that's usually like I don't really spend money on like shopping. I'm not like other girls. I don't want to go shopping I'll just go on Amazon and buy the necessities that I need. But that's like my one thing I like to spoil myself is just relaxation and food. So I love eating.
Oh yeah, who doesn't,
Those
right?
2 things I like spending my money on.
I know, who doesn't really, honestly. And the cool thing about that you're talking about treating yourself to those kind of things, not worrying so much about shopping particularly because, ultimately you guys, your body is your tool. And if you don't take care of it, you're not going to make any money. And you want to do this long-term wise where you can do it for as long as you can. I kind of treat you guys as athletes in a way too, because when you look at it, the shelf life can be very short depending on the person, but at the same time you want longevity and you want the body to last you longer. So the day comes, for example, you decide not to do this anymore, you can still have a good quality of life.
Yeah, that's for everyone though. Everyone has to take care of their body no matter like what industry you're in, because the last thing you want to do is not take care of yourself and then you're stuck in a bed at a nursing home unable to like move because you never ate right or exercised enough, and you don't see it now when you're younger, but then when you get older, that's when everything you did when you're young and stupid starts hitting you when you get older. So I don't want that to happen to me. So
believe me, I started feeling that effect as soon as I turned 30, and my body was starting to react differently, and I was thinking to myself, wow, this is what it feels like now that, I'm no longer in my teens or 20s. I need to start taking – it's only when you start feeling the effects, at least for me, I don't know about you, do you start realizing you need to take better care of yourself, because some of the things you used to do, like burning the midnight oil sometimes, is not going to benefit you the older you get because your body just doesn't react to it anymore.
Oh, yeah. You can feel a hangover weight. Like, the hangovers are worse. You can feel it so much more the next day when you get older. Well, when you're 21, you're like, yeah, I can drink all night, have like 30-minute nap, and then do a full day of work, and I'm still good. And then like 10 years later, you're like,
what was I thinking?
Fuck my life.
Yeah, that or like, how the hell did I do that? Seriously, what the hell was I on? In the sense of to get through all those that pain.
Yeah, now I see like people drinking all the time, and they're like, "Oh, you want some more?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good because I don't want to feel it in the morning."
See, you're one of the smart ones. You definitely learned from your experiences. Now, speaking of that too, something I always find really admirable about you guys, especially you, Carmen, because I've never had a chance to meet you. This is the first time I'm talking to you face to face. Hopefully, get a chance to meet you in Edison, New Jersey for Exotica. But I can only imagine from the perspective of the performers like yourself, where you're going to these areas and people obviously are admirers and fans of yours, admire your work, and look at you and think, oh my God, it's Carmen Valentina. How cool is it from your side where you're out there and people are coming really to see you? Is it humbling experience, or sometimes can it be a little bit overwhelming at times?
It's kind of weird because sometimes I just don't really think I'm that popular. Because, it's just everything social media, so you don't really think that many people know you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just kind of odd because I don't feel like as big of a name as there's other girls out there. So, I just do my thing and sell my stuff.
No, it's you obviously being modest.
Titties and porn and, put titties in the face at conventions.
There you go. Titties, cookies, porn. Great combination.
There you go.
Yeah. Sweet, and awesome. But, do you see yourself being more recognized when you go out in public nowadays as opposed to maybe, when you first started or maybe even 2 or 3 years ago? The popularity increases.
Yeah, there's some guys like, if I wear makeup out in public, I've been stopped a few times. Like, once was in the mall, and there's one guy's like, are you who I think you are? And I'm like,
just say the name.
I think so, but he didn't say my name.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
And then on Twitter, he's like, oh my God, I saw you at the mall today. And I'm like, okay, well, because sometimes I'm like, please don't say my name. Please don't say, especially if I'm with other people.
Yeah.
And some people know and some people don't, It's like, don't come up to me at least like, hey, are you Carmen Valentina? Like, oh my God, that'd be the worst thing ever.
Okay, yeah. Most people that I've spoken to, either they don't care and like, yeah, come up to me, I don't care. I mean, now it obviously depends on the scenario. If you're with family or friends, of course, don't be obnoxious like that. But at the same time, too, don't be afraid. Like for me, when people say that, like if I were to see it in the mall, for example, I would come up to you and be like, hey, excuse me, I hope I don't get this wrong, but are you? And I'd say it in a low voice so you could hear me, so I didn't want to embarrass anybody. And say, I'm a huge admirer. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ask maybe for a photo. If not, then be on my way. But I guess some people just get kind of starstruck by you, would you say?
Yeah, I think so, because once I was at this, like, county fair with some friends, and then someone tweeted, like, oh, I saw you waiting in so-and-so line at the fair, and I'm like, never came up to me. They just tweeted that. I'm like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, if I met you...
recognize me.
Yeah, if I met you, I wouldn't, like, say in a tweet later, like, hey, I saw you standing there with the popcorn and cotton candy, and you're wearing these shoes or whatever, but I just want to say hi. Take care. It's kind of comes off a little weird.
Like, should I be creeped out or should I be? Because sometimes I'm like, this is kind of creepy, but this is kind of fun and awesome. It's kind of like a weird in between when that happens.
They also find it kind of hard sometimes where, the job, obviously, when you go to these conventions, you're selling sex, right? I mean, you guys are dressed up. You guys are dressed up very provocatively, less clothes as possible, especially in the winter where it's tough because you guys are probably freezing. Except
the conventions are warm inside.
Especially last year, because my first time I went there was last year in November, and it was not only warm inside the convention center, but it was unseasonably warm for that month in November. Because I remember
True. It's usually cold that time of year when I'm down there.
I was sweating profusely, and that was the first time I actually went there to try to conduct interviews. So first of all, I was nervous that I didn't want to embarrass myself and come off as a creepo. And secondly, I was like, stop sweating because you're sweating in front of these ladies and they're going to think you're disgusting. So I had that working against me. But it was unseasonably warm, and that convention gets pretty packed, especially in New Jersey. Would you say that's the most packed it gets, or would you say like Chicago or the other ones? I heard Miami wasn't that packed.
Same as Chicago. Miami was dead. There was no one there.
Did that surprise you?
Every time Exotica tries to hold in Miami, it's never like a big event because they've tried it before, like 8 years ago or something like that. Just as empty and dead. Just every time they try, it's just Miami people just don't want porn conventions. I don't know why they keep trying to go back to Miami. Like, no one wants porn conventions in Miami. You got the topless beaches and all the strip clubs. You don't really need a porn convention down there, I guess.
So you think it gets lost basically in the aura of Miami, basically.
Yeah, and then the location they held it. it was an odd location. Like, it was behind a hotel, and to get to it, you had to go through to pay for parking. Like, they wouldn't even let you go back there with a lift unless you paid for parking. And I'm like, what?
Really?
It wasn't. You didn't really see signs for it either, so I think that was a disadvantage for it. But Chicago and New Jersey, those are the best ones.
I know. I went
2 years ago, though, like, New Jersey was so cold. I got the flu that weekend because there's so many people. I had a fever throughout the whole convention. It was
Ooh.
miserable for me.
You know what I got
So,
nervous was back in January. It was my first AVN, first time I ever went to Las Vegas at all, and I
uh-huh.
heard a lot of people got sick there. They had
Oh
like
yeah,
the
they call it like
convention
the
flu, or
Indian flu.
yeah, yeah. And I started feeling a little bit of that a week afterwards. I started like getting cold chills and sweats. And I was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Holy crap! It must have been from there." Now, luckily, it didn't get as bad. But yeah, and the conventions.
It's all the people. Because there's like hundreds of people that
Yeah,
go to AVN, so more than hundreds, probably like thousands, because it's like 4 days, so you have so many people every day.
yeah.
But yeah, being around all those people, you have to like take extra, like
Hand
take some
sanitizer.
airborne before the convention, like boost your immune system before you get sick, so you don't get sick.
Hmm.
That's usually what I do. I'll like dose up on vitamins so I don't get like sick from all the people breathing and touching everything and getting really
Breathing,
close to you. And
breathing
some
and
guys are like
touching
five
me.
inches away from your face,
Yeah.
and they forgot to take a mint while talking to you, and you're like, oh, trying to,
See,
you're
that's
trying to
that's what I'll
smile and have a
never.
conversation.
I know that's what I'll never do. I mean, even if, for example, if I go to a strip club, I purposely make it a reason to go take a shower, put some cologne on, take a breath mint with you, chew some gum. I mean, the least you could do is be considerate because you guys are standing there for hours, shaking hands,
Oh
taking
yeah.
pictures. The least I could do is make sure my breath smells nice. So when I'm 5 inches away from you, I'm not throwing all my lunch in your face, basically.
Yeah, one time I was guys will never leave you alone even if you try to take a break, like as a chick at the conventions. Like
Hmm.
that one year I had the flu or fever or whatever the hell I had. Um
Whatever I
I
have.
sit down behind the table like 5 feet away from it and like get away from everyone, and I just lay down and put like a little blanket over me, and guys were still trying to talk to me to buy a DVD, and I'm like, just leave me alone. I just need a break. Just fucking 5 minutes, leave me alone. They will watch you and talk to you even though you're like like trying to change, like in your booth looking away from everyone, but they'll still try to like make a conversation to you, and like, oh my god, these guys.
Can honestly, and I'm not gonna defend them, but can you blame them, Carmen? Seriously, somebody like you standing there, you having the flu, probably sweating profusely, for a guy like, oh, that's still Carmen Valentina. So I mean, again, they hold you up in a pedestal.
Laying on the floor, and they're still trying to like buy a DVD, or they want like a picture with me, and I'm like, no, please don't. Luckily, I'm nice. I'm not like mean or bitchy or anything.
No,
So I'm just like,
I
you
can't
come back
imagine you being that
later.
way. I can't imagine you. I mean, look at your smile from ear to ear. I can't imagine you being mean to somebody. Though it does happen though, because we're all human, so we do reach those limits.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you push the right buttons, I could be a bitch. So
Believe me, I would never want to push those buttons with you. So when I see you, I will be on my best behavior. I'm always on my best behavior. But in terms of this industry that I've just like, I did this on a whim last November, and never thought it would lead to this. And I started posting on YouTube, thinking it'd be funny in the sense that have a different side perspective of it because I'm not someone who wants to ask you, for example, what's your favorite position, how long you've been in the business for, what turns you on. I think those questions have been kind of asked to the extent when I'm
oh
worried.
my god, yeah, I get asked those questions all the
Yeah.
time.
And you got to sit there and smile and answer them because you want to be polite and nice. You want to be mean because at the same time they're asking you the question. They want to have some time and try to promote you. So the least you could do is just answer it. Although you've done it a million times, kind of hard to change your answer. I mean, it might change. You might go from what? You might go from doggy to missionary at one point. So wow, a big change scenario. But
I know. It's like every position is different. Depends on, I guess, who you have sex with.
yeah,
So
exactly. So when somebody asks you that, it's like, well, it depends on a lot of factors. Like, for example, I'd ask you, what's your ideal guy, Carmen? Wow, that's a broad question right there. How am I supposed to answer that one?
yeah,
Seriously. Tall,
It could
dark, and
be
handsome.
anyone. You never know. Yeah, those kind of questions are just so. It's like those interview questions. So tell me about yourself. You're just like, oh,
Yeah, it'd be hard for me,
your
especially because
typical interview questions.
yeah, it'd be difficult because sometimes, like, well, what do you want to know? It's like, where do I start? But for me, it's like when you started your career to where you are now. Does it feel like it's been a long time, or has it kind of just? I'm sure there are moments, but does it feel like it's kind of breezed by where you are right now in this point in your career, or do you kind of still feel all the emotions, in terms of like everything still being somewhat new, or is it kind of more routine for you nowadays?
More routine.
Yeah.
Depends on the company. If it's like a company I never worked for before, then it feels kind of new again. But yeah, it's like you're not as like nervous. You kind of know what's gonna go on when you go on a shoot or do your own stuff. So it's not as you can get it done faster. More quicker without wasting time. It's like the longer you're in it, you know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, like for example, people have made the comment when I've interviewed them, and it's kind of true when you really think about it, that when you look at the industry or any industry in general, it is like a revolving door because as soon as you're in it, before you know it, somebody else is trying to kind of either take your spot or kind of working their way in. So you always have to constantly prove yourself depending on how long you've been in whatever field you've been in. I've always found this interesting from the male talent's perspective, and I have had the opportunity of interviewing some of them. They basically shoot the same type of people over and over again because I'm sure like the girls like working with them. They're good. Certain production companies have faith in them because you have to have a lot of confidence in a male talent to be able to perform and put out a good scene. So for
Mm.
you, in your perspective, when it comes to working with other talent, whether it be girls or guys, what do you look for in terms of, having that chemistry with somebody? Because is it just something like, for example, when you're doing stills or you're first introducing yourself to the person because you haven't worked with them? Or is it in the actual act and scene itself, do you start thinking to myself, okay, this is going to be an easy day because we're going to get this and we're gonna knock it out? Or, man, it's going to be a while before I'm out of here?
Well, with the guys, it depends. Like some of the newbie guys, they're the ones that take forever. Like the brand new guys, because
Hmm.
they want to talk to everyone and have a party, and then they're like, so you see the new guys, and they're always trying to like argue with the director, like, well, I have to do it this way and that way, and I'm like, oh my god, you're not the director. Shut up. You're making the day longer. Just fucking do what the director says. And
Hmm.
then the pro guys, they're like the complete opposite. Like they'll do everything the director says, but they don't really talk much. They're kind of just in and out, like
Yeah.
they're quieter. I think because I don't know if they're more jaded or not, but I just noticed they're not like as talkative than when they were like new. So it's kind of odd. You can kind of see it. Like you'll like done a scene when that guy first started out, and then like years later you like do a scene with him again, and it's like totally different.
Yeah.
But with I guess they just learn how to like go quicker with the scenes, and they want to get in, they want to get out, get their money.
It's like a
They don't
routine for
waste
them.
time. Yeah, they don't argue with the director. I notice a lot of new guys when I'm in Florida shooting for companies. It's like they're like telling the director how to shoot, and it's like, up. I want to get. Let's just do the scene and have fun. Stop arguing with the director. Just do what you gotta do. Like it's crazy. I've met so many new guys like that. So
It's kind of weird though, because I would think it'd be the opposite. Say, for example, I'm a new guy. The last thing I want to do is argue with the director and the producer, or piss off the talent around me because I want to get hired the next time. I don't want to
I
piss
think
off
it's like
anybody.
I think because the guys know they'll most likely get hired because there's not as much male talent,
Oh, I think
and then
that's the
they get
reason
a
why.
little bit of an ego about themselves because then they start getting like hired repeatedly or more well known from like girls and like on Twitter. Yeah, the same thing goes
Hmm.
for girls too. Girls will get an ego and they'll like start acting like a diva, like, and they're only like a year or two in, and they start, kind of acting like that, or kind of, well, I gotta do this and that, and it's like you're not a pro yet. Just because you've been in it for like a year or 2 years, you're still a newbie. But it's just you see it, and it's just like, but when they get more experience, I think they're like, look, I think they finally realize, like, hey, if I argue, it's gonna make the day go longer. Let me just do this scene. I know what to do. Get in, get out, have fun, be a pro about it.
Yeah, and that's the word I hear the most, being professional. That's the basic thing you need to do because it is still a job. So you need to be as professional as possible.
The only problem with some of the pro guys, though, I feel like you can't connect with them as much either. So it's like the pros and cons of it. Because
Yeah.
it's like the longer they've been in it, I think because there's just so want to hurry up and get it done sometimes because they've done it for so long, like they're a little bit more jaded.
Hmm.
They just want to go in, do the scene, get the fuck out, and not talk as much. And it's like, where's the connection? At least say hi to me before I suck your dick, you know?
Oh, really? You've had scenarios where they haven't even said hello to you? It just basically, let's go
Some of
do the
them will
scene?
just like go shower or just go talk to like one of the PAs in like a separate room. Like they're so quiet and they won't talk to the girls much. I'm like, what's going on? This is kind of weird. Like there's
You
and
know,
then
but I
the
would think,
newbie guys want to talk to everyone. Like, hey, what's going on? It's like they're like the complete opposite. You got to tell them to shut up, and then the pro guys, you're like, hey, can you talk to me a little bit more? You
yeah.
know. So it's weird. I noticed that. And it's like a lot of pro guys are like that. They're just so quiet and they'll just say a couple of things and then they'll only like want to talk to the director like as besties, and that's
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah, I guess it's to find an even balance, I guess, between the two of them. I mean, I could see myself, for example, being somewhat that way and quiet just because I'm quiet by nature. So I like conducting interviews, chatting with people, getting to know them, getting to know you. But at the same time, I'm kind of the person that kind of keeps to myself. I won't bother anybody because I don't want to kind of step on anybody's toes. So it's a fine balancing act, I guess, in between there of, because, some might be different. I might come up to you and you might not be in that good of a mood. You might, those buttons might have been pressed earlier in the day. And I'm like, oh, I don't want, Carmen to yell at me, so I'm just gonna leave her alone because I don't know if she's in a good mood.
Yeah. Well, I'm usually in a good mood. I
Oh, of
never
course,
want
you're.
it to scene if I'm in like a bad mood. So,
Hmm.
because it's gonna make everyone else in a bad mood if I do that. So that's the worst thing you could do as a porn star is like bring your bad mood to set because you're gonna piss off everyone on set, and you want the day to go by smooth and fun and
Yeah.
quick.
I mean, that's something I noticed about you too. I mean, in some of the interviews I've seen you conduct, you always seem to be smiling and good, depending on however you're feeling. You might be run down and burnt out, but you wouldn't show it. So that's always, I'm sure, appreciative of your fans and the people that are interviewing you. But with that being said, though, when you talk about any industry, especially it seems more so the adult film industry, there's always a lot of scrutiny, no matter what industry you're in. But you always get the scrutiny that comes along with working in the adult film industry. So how are you able to kind of block all that out to stay as positive as you are now? Because, when you have things like social media and everybody feels like they're obligated to kind of voice their opinion, give their 2 cents, is it something as easy as blocking them or kind of just surrounding yourself with a circle of people that are constantly reaffirming the reason why you're doing this in the first place?
If they're too rude and obnoxious, I'll block them. I won't
Hmm.
even write back to them because I'm like, I don't got time for this. I'm too old for this shit. I'm not gonna argue back. Some girls love it. You could tell those girls live for the drama.
Hmm.
But me, and I'm like, I like,
You brush it off?
I brush it off. And if something's bothering me, I won't direct a tweet at anyone. I'll just kind of write like a vague tweet. So if they think it's about them, then that's their own guilty conscience biting at them if they think that tweet's about them. Other than that, I don't really try to start shit with people or anything. Because I think it's just going to get me upset. And then I'll start thinking about it for days. And, it'll just put me in a really bad mood. And sometimes it's hard because there's like some people you just want to tell to fuck off. And
Yeah.
and you don't want to look unprofessional. You're like, but sometimes it's really hard on social media not to. Like, you have to have so much self control when you're really pissed off at someone. But
Yeah.
me, I don't really get pissed off easily unless you really, 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 really pushed at my buttons. Then I'll like. I'm hard to break. And once you break me, then I get really pissed and I'll let everyone know. Other than that, I pretty much love everyone.
Yeah, I
So
can see
I
that
don't
fire
really
in your
hate on
eyes,
many
though.
people.
Yeah, I can see that fire in your eyes as I'm looking right now. And guys, you're listening to the audio right now, but I'm seeing actually Carmen via Skype video. So shame on you guys for not being able to see this. But yeah, she's smiling, but I could see that fire in her eyes, and part of me is like kind of curious to see what it's like when you cross that line. But another part of me is like, I best not want to be around that area when it does happen because it might be kind of scary. So who knows? But
Yeah, I I try to be like laid back and calm and
Yeah,
mellow.
and you are.
So yeah. But even though on Twitter I'll be like, "Hey, these bitches and hoes," like some guys don't realize I'm joking. I think sometimes I have like dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like I think they take it seriously. Like, "What's wrong, Carmen?" I'm like, "Nothing. I was joking." They think like I'm always upset sometimes when I'm just joking half the time. I don't think everyone understands myself of my sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm very sarcastic, so a lot of people take me for face value because they say I have a good poker face, so they don't know whether I'm joking around with them or I'm actually being sarcastic. So I could pull a joke to an extent where they're like, "Man, Brian's really pissed at me," and I'm not really. I'm just kind of joking you and jerking you around in terms of making you feel bad when I really have no problem with you, but. Yeah, to each their own, basically. But do you feel there's always a constant balancing act with that? Because for me, at least, for example, doing something like this, like I said, I did this on a whim back almost, it seems like a year ago, come November. And to do this, plus another show that I do with my brother called the High Spot Podcast, which this is a part of, we talk about the world of professional wrestling. We talk about, all the things that we enjoy. And that's a huge, load in itself in terms of getting all that content out there, bringing down 2 shows, putting that out on social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that. So when you do social media, it can be very overwhelming. Do you take breaks in terms of just unplugging sometimes, or just constantly keep doing that grind of, I'm going to get my content out there as much as I can?
I try not to overdo the content, like for like plugging my business aspect, because I think when you just constantly tweet, like some girls will do like their OnlyFans or their websites and this and retweet other companies. I'm like, it just looks like a bot account, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want my social media to look like a bot account. So I'll tweet some personal stuff. So whatever's on my mind, I'll tweet. If nothing's on my mind, then I won't tweet anything. I try to do at least like 1 tweet a day, so it looks like I'm not dead. But social media is not that much of a hassle, and if people are annoying me, I don't have the notifications on, so if they tweet at me, it doesn't pop up on my phone every 2 seconds.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I see some girls. I'm like, oh my God, why would you want to see every notification every 2 seconds on your phone? Like, beep. First of all, that drains your battery.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, you gotta be a little narcissistic to want to see how many people are tweeting you constantly or Instagramming, tagging you, or whatever. I think that's a little narcissistic to have to like feed your ego a little bit with the more comments you get. But yeah, I turn off the notifications, and I don't always reply to everyone, which I should more, because sometimes I'm just like, ugh, I'm just too tired. Fuck emails. Sorry for the fans who write me emails. I try to respond to everyone sometimes, but then I get really behind. But
Yeah.
anyways, with social media, I try to do like 1 tweet a day, and I try to do like 1 personal tweet a day. Something that's like not related to business, like not, hey, here, go join my website. Here, go buy this. Here, go to this website. Here's this whatever company, blah, blah, blah. I try not to do it too much. I'll do like, try to mix it in with a good enough amount of retweets from other companies to make the companies happy because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't want to retweet every single one because some companies will like, they'll tweet at you like 50 times in a day, and it's like, fuck, I can't retweet this many times. My Twitter is not your company website. Like, I don't want the whole Twitter feed to look like it's just your company only. So I'll do it in a good mix, so it's not like every 2 seconds, and then do a personal tweet here, and then some kind of business tweet there, a retweet over there, reply to a fan over here, like that. So, but it's not really that exhausting. It's kind of fun. I try to make Twitter fun for my own amusement, so it doesn't like piss me off or anything. I'll post something funny if people understand it.
God knows we wouldn't want to piss you off, Carmen.
I'll try to do
That's the message of this whole interview. Don't piss off Carmen because she's such a delightful person. She's smiling. Why would you want to piss her off? But it's cool. You keep everything even keel. And that's the thing you have to do, especially nowadays, with the fact that everybody takes anything sensitive. For example, you don't reply to somebody's tweet, you don't reply to somebody's email. oh, you're stuck up, you're self-centered, you're too good for me in terms of replying back. Guys, you probably receive tons of emails, tons of messages. You
Oh my
can't
God, I
you
have
can't
like
reply to all of
800
them.
messages in my email account right now that I haven't answered. And like 800 of them. I'm really behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way too. For example, like I'm in the New York metropolitan area, so I'm in New Jersey, New York. So sometimes I'll head over to, for example, free plug here for Sapphires in New York, and I'll basically go there when the featured dancers are there. And I'm more of the old school method. I'd rather introduce myself to you first in person, and then I can work off from there. So at least you somewhat remember me. And then at the point where I say, hey, I sent you an email, I'll see somebody else maybe a month from now, I'll see them again. Hey, I'll visit again. And they're like, oh, yeah, you sent me an email. I'm so sorry. And I say to them, don't apologize to me. You probably get tons of it. I'm just trying to reaffirm the fact that I'm here. I'm serious. I'm trying to be consistent so that you do know that hopefully down the road we can conduct an interview. So I think that's the approach to take. Most people just take it too personally. Like, Carmen, I sent you an email yesterday. How come you didn't reply back to me? Well, because you have a ton. You have a ton waiting
Oh
for
my
you.
God, some guys are like needy like that. I had um some where I had to tell them like, hey, I'm not trying to be a bitch here, but you're like literally like, oh my God, there's this one uh fan, and I won't say his name, but I had to block him from my messaging. Like he would write to me on Twitter and like, how come you're not answering me? Like I would say, oh hey, what's up? Then he write like 20 messages, and then literally 5 minutes later, why aren't you answering? And he started getting all like upset and like cry about it or like mad, and I'm like, and it just got to a point where he just got so psycho. I'm like, just leave me the fuck alone. And he got mad that I blocked him from messaging me on Twitter.
Wow.
And then he's like, okay, okay, I'll be good. I'm so sorry. And then he started like emailing my regular email instead of Twitter because I wasn't responding to him on Twitter. So then he starts spamming up my Gmail, and I'm like, I had to put his shit in my junk folder because it was getting so crazy. And I'm
It's
like,
getting too
oh
much.
my God, this guy is way too needy. He needs to like go focus on some other chick. So and then I saw him at New Jersey Exotica and all the other girls. I think because the girls feel like they have to like hug every fan, even if they're crazy. Like I saw him and I just stayed behind my table. Usually I'll go in front of the table.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi, hey, how are you? And I try not to shake his hand because I want him to know that like
You
I
weren't
told him
happy?
like
Yeah.
up front, I'm like, you're being too needy. I need to distance myself from you. I don't like it. I don't have time. And he's like, well, he starts trying to do a pity party on me. Well, I have all these problems and blah blah blah. I'm like, look, everyone's got their problems. I got my problems. My mom got problems. My
Yeah.
friends got problems. Like, everyone's got their problems. I'm sorry, but you don't try to do a crap pity party on me. Like, it's not gonna work. Yeah, we all have our shitty problems at the end of the day. We all
Yeah.
got bills at the end of the day to pay, or this and that. It's like, and and then after that, he kind of like calmed down. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, upset you. I just thought, you would." He apologized afterwards after I brought up like everyone's got problems, so he realized he couldn't use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
So I was nice about it. I wasn't mean, but I was also blunt at the same time because if I wasn't blunt and straight up with him, then he was just gonna keep. You have some fans that'll just keep taking advantage of like all your time with you.
Yeah.
So like they'll buy you one thing like a Skype show or a custom video or whatever, and then they think like you now owe them all your time. Like you have to message them every time they message. If you don't, then you're the bitch and this and that. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I've always been the opposite, believe it or not, Carmen, where like when I do get a chance, like when I go to a convention or I'm even conducting an interview, right? I would love to conduct an interview and talk to you for 20, 30 minutes if I'm having a great time talking to you, right? And you're enjoying the conversation. But then I look across and I see all the people standing giving me the stink eye. And I'm like, yeah, I need to get out of the way because you know what? There are other people that want to go see you. Plus, I'm also taking money away from you because they want to come to the table. So,
Yeah,
it,
buy some stuff.
yeah, it's just some
I've had guys
consideration.
like that before where they're there like telling me their whole life story, and like it's like they see the other guys waiting, but then they still keep talking, and it's like they they uh they won't stop, and then I'll say hi to the guy behind them, and they'll still keep talking, and I'm just
Or
like,
they
and
feel
then the guy
offended.
behind them's like, hey, well, how much is this? And I'm like, oh, it's that. So the other guy behind them starts asking me questions, and then they're still talking, and I'm like, do they not get a hint at all? Do they not understand that there's other people, trying to talk to who they want?
Yeah.
So
And plus, time
once
is
that
money too.
happens, I
Yeah.
try to make like a bullshit thing, like, oh, okay, can you uh, finish this? I'll be like, finish your story later. Go walk around, have fun, come back to me later. So, and they'll usually, oh, okay, and then they'll come back like 20, 30 minutes later after I tell them that. Or I'll make another like bullshit excuse, like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. That's usually a good one. I used to use that when I worked at the strip club, to like go to like another customer because I got tired of that one when I used to be a stripper. So
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they're like, okay. And then I go talk to someone else. I never gotta go to the bathroom. I'm just just trying to leave.
No, I get you. Yeah, it's like to me, it's just simple consideration. I've never been someone who wants to. Well, maybe when I was younger, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe when I was 18 or 19, when you're very naive, and you think like you notice your first stripper, like, oh my god, I'm in love with her type of scenario. But yeah, I mean, after a while, you start realizing, listen, enjoy your 4 or 5 minutes. And it's different too because I'm like I told you, I'm the one that kind of steps away because I know time is very valuable, so I try to get whatever I need to say out, and so I can say it and then move on my way. But it's always the opposite. I always get pulled back in. I don't know if that's yeah. Like for example, I say something, I'm trying to walk away, and like wait a minute, and they want to extend the conversation. I don't know if they want to extend the conversation because they don't want to talk to the next guy in line, or they're just interested in it.
I've done that before with some friends. I'm like, oh, it's that one. Okay, hold on. Let me talk to you some more.
Exactly. Let me talk to you some more. We're having fun here. Wait for the guy to leave. No, I've been down that road before too, where I guess I take it as a compliment, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. I need to go because these guys are gonna, they're not gonna hate on you. They're probably gonna hate on me more because I'm taking too much of their time. But that's like,
my opinion is, if you're gonna talk to a chick for that long at a convention or a strip club or whatever, buy her shit. Like I'll have guys who'll just want to talk my ear off, and then they won't even buy a DVD or picture, and I'm like, seriously, you're gonna try to talk to me for a whole hour? At least tip me something,
better yet, I'll buy you
Strip
dinner.
club, the guys who are regulars know if you're gonna be talking to a chick for that long, you tip her for her time. So
No, exactly. That goes without saying. She's giving you the time of day. Time is money. It's different if you're meeting outside of there in a sense, but yeah, when you're at the convention, it's still work. As much as an enjoyment for the fans, you guys still have to make some money and work. And you guys do a great job of doing that. Do you find it more that people can't separate the differences between fantasy and reality? Do you think that's what the issue is most of the time?
yeah, sometimes, because I think like everything they see on video, it's, oh my god, you must have loved that, or this and that. Like they actually think some of the porn films are like really real, and I'm like, no, you're wrong here, But most of the guys are normal, and they're sweet guys.
Yeah.
They're really nice. Some of my fans will actually meet and have lunch with them when I'm in like town for conventions.
And that's
So
great. Yeah, we're not here bashing any of the fans. So there are obviously extremes to all of that. But then for a good portion of it, a lot of people get it. They understand it. Like I said, you can develop
yeah.
connections in terms of friendships because they understand it and they're very respectful. So it's a great blend, but it's always the ones that take it to the extreme that kind of, in a sense, a little bit ruin it for everybody else in a way.
Yeah, a lot of the, yeah, you have some that are just crazy and they ruin it for everyone, and then there's 95% of them are sweethearts, and they're super sweet and nice, and they don't bug you. But you have the oddballs here and there. So, like the one I was telling you that would get upset if I didn't message him every 2 seconds.
Yeah, of course. Jesus, you're ignoring me. My time's important. But again, you deal with that all the time with anybody in terms of who you're dealing with. Because everybody wants attention. Everybody wants it. But
Oh, God, yes.
something I wanted to ask you in terms of, I'm sure you get this question a lot too, but I'm always just intrigued because everybody's different in it. But, and again, your career is your career and you make decisions according to what you feel is best for you. But I always heard this thing in terms of longevity, and I don't believe in myself personally too, because I think it's more in your hands. Whatever you want to do on camera, whatever you want to do in terms of your career, what direction you want to take it in, is up to you. But people have this idea in their mind, especially people I talk to, like, they start off girl scene when you first start off in the industry, then you do boy girl, then you do this, then you wait off and you hold off and you do this. I get the idea from a business perspective because you're holding out, and so when you build up anticipation when you're doing the first of anything, it's cool, and so people might want to splurge more to see it because they've been waiting for it for so long. But
Yeah,
another
and then
thing,
they have like the companies pay them way more too. So
yeah,
if it's like your first company, like, oh, it's her first, okay, I'll throw in a couple extra, this amount of money. Since it's her first, I won't pay her the normal rate we pay all the other girls. We'll pay her, like a grand extra for this type of scene.
exactly. Do you go through that type of thing, or is it more of just whatever you feel at that moment you want to try to do, or what you're comfortable with, you just kind of want to stick to it?
I just stick to what I'm comfortable with. I don't really do the hold off stuff. Like when I first started, everyone told me to,
Yeah.
and then I thought I'd try it, and I'm just like, oh, screw this. This is stupid. So I just did my own thing. People are like, oh, when's your first anal? When are you gonna do your first anal? I'm like, never. Why not? I'm like, because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I've tried it.
Carmen,
I don't
when are you gonna do your
fucking
first?
like it.
When are you gonna do your first anal? What day is it today? Maybe the day of March 13th, 2000. Never. I'm gonna do it. So.
Yeah, I've been in the business for like 9 fucking years, and they still ask me, when are you gonna do anal? I'm like, you'd think after 9 years I would have done it by now. Like, the most I'll do is maybe a finger up my ass or a butt plug, but there's no way in hell I want to do anal for porn. I only want to do stuff I'm comfortable with in my private life, and if I'm not comfortable with it, I'm not gonna do it on film. And to me, it's not worth the hassle to just get paid not that much more from a regular sex scene.
Yeah.
And they only pay like a couple $100 extra on top of a regular sex scene for anal, and I'm like, screw that.
Yeah, it's not really worth it.
Eat the night before.
Yeah.
You'll get booked a lot, but it's miserable because the girls, they don't want, and they want like a clean asshole, so they stop eating the night before.
Yeah, well,
Then they like,
of course, they want a clean
their
asshole.
Yeah, they'll do like an enema. They'll clean out their asshole in the morning with like a water enema or shower enema or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they go on set. They still haven't eaten anything since the night before. They'll take a stool hardener, do another right after their makeup's done or whatever. They'll do another enema, and then they do their scene. And this is like, and then they don't finish till like 5 o'clock in the evening. and then they get pounded so hard with the biggest dick so fast, and I swear it's like, no.
There's nothing appealing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean, I can understand the prepping.
It feels like a rub burn. I don't get the enjoyment out of it. It just irritates me. I don't like it.
Yeah, and some
I don't
do like it.
Stuff I don't like,
Yeah.
and some of these girls will lie to their fans. Yeah, it's so great, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. But, oh, my God, I hear the same girls who tell their fans that I hate anal. Oh, my God, I'm so hungry. I'm never going to eat. Oh, my God, this guy tore my asshole. Oh, I'm constipated because I keep taking stool hardeners and fucking up my diet by never eating and only eating once a day before 7. And, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think most people understand.
It's not worth the money at all. And you have the biggest dicks ramming your ass, which is not natural, and you see so many girls with all these butt problems like later in life, and a lot of these girls will have surgery or they stop doing anal for like a year because some guy fucked their ass so bad that they started bleeding and it tore it up, so they couldn't do any because that's how bad it got messed up. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Ever doing anal.
The way you just described everything right here in terms of it's all true, and it's all stuff in terms of prepping guys that don't really know what it takes to do an anal scene, especially for the female talent to get prepared for that. I even joke sometimes if it's like, like the world of bodybuilding, right? When you see these guys or girls on stage, they're probably at their worst physical condition while on stage, but they look amazing.
So dehydrated.
Someone told me, he was a close friend of mine, that he was close to almost like passing out near death just to look appealing on stage. Same thing in terms of prepping for an anal scene. You're depriving yourself of food, nutrition, and stuff like that for what? For an extra $100, not worth it. But like the way,
extra couple.
yeah.
To me,
But
it's
the way
like,
you're
no, it's not worth it.
I know, but the way you're describing it, it's kind of like when you see those infomercials, those commercials of like certain types of prescription pills you take, and then they give you the horrible side effects under breath, and you listen to it, and you're like, why the hell would I want to take this if this is all the bad stuff that comes along with it? Why would I want to do it? Why would I want to take that prescription? You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's this one girl. She told me, she's like, yeah, I've done so much anal, my ass doesn't close all the way completely anymore. And I'm like, what? That is not normal. Like, there's like a little bit of an opening. Like, it doesn't close completely tight shut. And I'm like, yeah, hell no. I don't want that to happen to
No.
my asshole. And then they gotta play with the toy before they have the guy fuck them anally. So then they have to like warm up on top of that too after all the enemas. Because
Oh my
if
God.
your ass isn't warmed up and then you just shove a big dick in you, you're gonna hurt yourself even more. And then, yeah, so I don't want to be 40 wearing a diaper.
No, nor I would want you to wear a diaper either. Although you probably look adorable in that diaper, I wouldn't want you to go through that because although I just met you right now, I just like yeah, I don't want Carmen to go through that. I don't want her to.
Yeah, I don't want to wear a diaper or have a prolapsed ass. So yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't sound too appealing. It really doesn't.
Like guys don't know this. Like they think they just do anal with a chick anytime, and it's like no, there's a lot of work to clean if you don't want your dick covered in shit.
Well, it's the fantasy. It's the fantasy. It's like, for example, watching you do a scene and like the guy's coming up to you, wow, it really looks like you enjoyed that because you do a really good performance of enjoying it. They're not going to enjoy it all the time, and so when they see women, doing anal scenes, oh my God, she must love it. Now I want to do it type of scenario.
It half the time.
Exactly.
Like, there's very few women I know that really like anal in porn. Most of those girls do not like it. Very few I know like actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I hear all of the girls, they'll do it for the money because it pays more and they get more bookings because there's not as many girls that do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that desperate for the money.
No.
I'll retire before I ever have to do anal. Like,
good for you.
And the thing is, it's like porn anal is way different than at home anal too. At home anal, the guy can like get into you slower, fuck you nicer. You don't have to worry about him pounding you so hard at different angles for the camera. You can take a break whenever you want. Use a whole bunch of lube. So
yeah, a lot different than a porn set, basically. If you're doing your private life, it's a lot more different. And it's not as you probably relax a little bit more. And suppose when you have a camera crew around you and people looking at their watch, thinking, when is this scene gonna get done? Because I want to get home, type of scenario. So there's a lot of more pressure when you're on a porn scene. I would only imagine. When it comes to rates, you've been doing this for 9 years, you said, right? Now, when you first start out with anything, you start at any job. For me, for example, I work in radio, so I start off doing all the shifts that nobody else wants to do. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, and so like, hey, who wants to work on New Year's? Who wants to work on Christmas? Who wants to work on Thanksgiving? I'll do it because you want to kind of prove yourself to your superiors in the company that you're able to do it, so you can kind of progress and then not do it eventually in the past. And then as you progress within the company or any business, you ultimately want to be paid your worth. So when it comes to that, in terms of your rate, how do you kind of decide the differences? Does it stay the same? Do you change from year to year? Do you go through a group of people, or is it just something you decide, listen, I've been doing this for, say, 3 years. I think it's time I kind of boost up my rate because of my following, of people that see me, all those factors in consideration. How do you come up with that?
I don't really change my rate.
Okay.
I let my agent handle it. Like when I signed with my agent, like, what do you want your rate to be? And I just left it blank. I'm like, whatever you think's best.
Okay.
So I'm like, if it's a company and it's like an all-day shoot, get me more money. If it's like a really quick scene, then I'll just do a basic rate. Like if it's a 2-hour scene, like you're in and you're out, then I'm like, it'd be kind of fucked up to ask for a lot of money for it if it's that easy and quick.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like an all-day, like 8, 9, 10-hour day with like dialogue with it too, and I'm like, they'll get me more money for it.
Yeah.
Or if it's the guy's dick is super, super big, like Mandingo, then they'll, like, add a little bit more to it.
So what do you prefer? Do you prefer those short shoots, or do you prefer, like, those long ones? Granted, you're getting paid a little bit more, but there are more stuff involved, like dialogue and stuff like that. What do you prefer? Just the quick in and outs, or just kind of...
It depends who you're with. I think it depends who you're with on set and what kind of scene it is. Because, it could be a quick shoot, but then... if you don't like your person you're having a scene with or the crew, it's just kind of like, I don't like this. I want to get the fuck out. Or it could be a long day and it could be really fun. So I think it just depends on who you're surrounded by. If it's gonna be a fun day or not.
Oh yeah, and believe me, just hanging out with you, I want to be surrounded by you all the time. I don't give a shit. My rate could be the fucking lowest it can be, just as long as I get to hang out and work the lighting for Carmen. That's all I care about.
Aww.
But yeah, right.
Liar.
Well, half of it's true. I would love to hang out with you, but again, I want to be paid my worth too. So hey, that lighting better be good. If your ass is shining, and that scene is awesome, hey, that's on me. Give me my pay rate for that. Seriously.
Make sure I have no damn cellulite showing.
Exactly. There's no dimples on that butt. There's no bumps on that. It's a smooth baby's behind, basically.
There you go.
I take pride in my work. But what can I say? Something that you mentioned before too, in terms of like loving food, right? I love food too. Do you feel ever any sense of pressure because body image is always a huge thing, especially for myself as a guy? There's no doubt I look at myself in the mirror, trying not to compare myself to other people, but there's always a certain look I want to look for. Now, granted, I'm not in front of the camera. That's why they say I have a face for radio, because my ugly mug is not supposed to be on camera. So for you, do you feel like there's ever a sense of pressure for you to maintain a certain look, maintain a certain figure, or you just kind of you keep yourself healthy because you want to keep yourself healthy?
I mostly keep myself healthy to my standards, not to like other people's standards. Like, yeah, I go to LA and everyone's super skinny. You're just like, oh, I feel like a fat bitch right now. But and you're eating an In-N-Out burger while staring at them.
Hey, that's a good burger. I don't care what you say. I'll give up. I won't give up carbs for not to have an In-N-Out burger. Yeah.
But I try to exercise and be healthy. Cool. I've always been thick since high school. I've never been super skinny ever, really. I just try to be sometimes I work so much I don't have a chance to work out, so then I start feeling flabby, but that's for me, not for other people.
I'm the same way too. I'm constantly working like three days straight. And if I don't go to the gym, I feel terrible. I feel like, I'm not toned, or I feel like my stomach's like hanging and stuff like that. So it happens. Yeah. For yourself, for your standards.
But with what was I saying? When I go to LA, I feel like I'm thicker and fatter, and I'm just like, but I'd rather not be the coked out whore who's vegan because I want to eat and I don't want to do coke to be skinny. So I'd rather just be the thick bitch. And and you know what? There's fans for that. There's fans who like girls with more curves and sticks and just being bony. And I had a guy like that come up to me at Exotica once, and I'm just like minding my own business, like la la la, looking around. It's like the beginning of a convention, not many people are there, and he comes up to me like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, it's amazing to see you. What's your name?" And I'm like, "Huh?" It's amazing to see me. You don't know my name. And he's like, "Oh my god, you're like the first chick who like has meat on her bones." It's like all these other girls are just skinny, and I'm not into that. I want meat. I want to grab, And then so I start talking to him, and then he buys like 3-4 DVDs and a couple of pictures, and I'm like, wow, So he was all into me, and I'm like, okay. He didn't know who
gives
I was
a shit
before,
he didn't know your name.
I was a little thicker and not like my ribs weren't poking out like the other girls, so he's all like, yeah, I like this.
That's hilarious, though. Nah, but nowadays, here's the thing. Like, nowadays of the whole, in my opinion, I could be wrong because it's my opinion, but at the days of the whole Victoria's Secret model and the thinny boned, model or actress, whatever, those are gone. Now it's like full figured. Curves are in, man. Curves are natural.
Yeah, I think porn kind of changed it though too, because you had like some thicker girls who were really, really popular. Like Siri, she was definitely not skinny at all, but she was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
But she was thicker with huge tits. Same thing with Angela White. Like that chick ain't like she's not anorexic looking at all. She's thicker and
she's got
curves.
One
of the top porn stars.
Yeah, and she flaunts it, and that's the thing. It depends on the individual how you flaunt it. If you're trying to mask it by adhering to somebody else's image, you're gonna look like you're fake. So just own it, whatever you got. I mean, most people don't have. Most women or most guys, for example, I'm not gonna have a 12-inch cock, so I gotta work with what I have, right?
Exactly. Like, I understand I'm thicker. I'm not gonna get offended if someone calls me fat. I think it's stupid everyone gets offended over everything. Like, oh my god, you're fat shaming. I'm like, if someone can fat shame me all they want, I don't give a fuck. I'll just, I'm not gonna get upset about it. Like, there was this one guy, I was going on Pornhub and looking at all the comments, of the videos of me. And there's this one comment. I'm like, what the hell is this? And the guy's like, she looks like an inflated pancake. I'm like, what? I'm
What?
like, this is the weirdest comment ever. It wasn't meant as a compliment, I'm sure. It was supposed to be like a diss, supposed to be trying to be funny. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let me take advantage of this. So I screen capped it. I cropped out just the comment where it says she looks like an inflated pancake. I photoshopped it. So I took an image of myself, and then I took an image of pancakes. I put myself on top of the pancakes on Photoshop with the comment at the like bottom right corner, and then I create the little image, and I posted it on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, pour some syrup on me. So everyone loved it. I'm like,
Wow.
I think if you take everything too seriously and get offended over everything, it's like, are you even living life, or you just want to be offended for attention? Like, you want the pity party, you want the fans to be like, oh no, you're beautiful, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I understand. I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. I don't care if someone calls me fat. They can call me
Yeah.
BBW all they want. But at the end of the day, I know I have my fans that like me for me, and I'm not gonna like turn into a fat sloppy bitch. Never work out, gain 40 more pounds. Like, I want to be the best version of myself, not for other people, but for my own health, so I'm not like having a heart attack at 50. Yeah, like, I don't want to promote an unhealthy image, but I also want to promote, like, hey, be who you are, try to be
Yeah.
the best of you. But
As long as you're
that's the
happy
kind
with
of
yourself,
feel.
that's all that really matters. I mean, your fans are obviously going to love you
Exactly.
no matter what. You could gain 40 pounds or look like a skinny coked head, porn star. It doesn't really matter. They're going to love you for you in terms of your personality. But as long as you love the way you are and look, that's all that counts basically.
And I think every chick should try to be the best version of herself and not get offended if someone doesn't like them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, get over it. Not everyone's gonna like you. Just like you're not gonna be attracted to every fanboy out there.
Yeah. No,
Like,
exactly.
these people like, why are you dissing me? But then behind the camera, be like, oh, look at that fan. Ew, gross. It's like you're a hypocrite.
No, it's
So
true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it took me a while to figure that out too. It took me a while to figure out, to get the mindset. I just don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. If they like me, great. If they don't, they don't. Because like you said, I'm not gonna be, or you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea either. So move on. You don't like it, change the channel, move on, whatever. Move on with the rest of
exactly.
your
And
life.
if I have a fan or not a fan, obviously they don't like me, they're not a fan. But if I have one that keeps like commenting, like, oh, blah, I don't like her, blah blah blah, and it's like, why are you adding me? Like, why are you tweeting at me that you don't like me? I'll just block them because I'm like, eh. It's like they're looking to argue with you. They're looking for the attention. Sometimes they try to. Some of these guys try to be rude to try to get attention from you,
Yeah,
and then they'll
exactly.
apologize right afterwards. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just thought that was the only way you would respond to me. And you're like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why do you think that'd be the only way to get a girl's response is being an asshole? But some guys are like that.
Well, some guys
So
they work with that because they're probably the kid that annoyed the girl they liked so much. Like back in grade school. Oh, I really like you, so why are you harassing me? I'll shove the girl, I'll poke the girl, I'll make fun of her because I really like
exactly.
you. That's why I'm acting this way, type of scenario. But
You have to live by the quote, treat me like a princess, fuck me like a whore. Be mean to me while you fuck me. And you're like, don't be
there you
mean to
go.
me. On the other times, if you're not fucking me, don't be mean to me.
I
That's
know.
pretty much, that's how you should live life when you treat women.
Oh yeah,
So,
I'm one of those people that doesn't believe. Well, I gotta thank my mom for this. Chivalry isn't dead. Treat women like princesses. Be very polite. Be very civil. Open doors. Pull out chairs and stuff like that. At the end of the day, that's the way I am. It's easier for me to be that than to pretend to be an asshole. Although most guys, it works for them. So I can't hold it against them
yeah.
completely. For most guys, they're just assholes, and you see them and they're with so many girls, and you're like, why? Maybe I should act this way, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But Carmen, I really appreciate you spending time talking to me. A few more here, and I'll let you go. Just having a great time just talking to you here. I could talk for hours, but time is money here. So what I wanted to ask you is that you mentioned some of your interviews. That you actually, is this true? You like Peruvian food?
Oh my God, I love Peruvian food. It's so yummy, like ceviche and the what is it called? Papa rellena, the stuffed potatoes. Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Because funny you said that. I'd seen that in a recent interview, or it was kind of a documented one. I said, Peruvian food. Wow, it's so funny because I'm of Hispanic descent, and my family is Peruvian. So all the food that you're talking about is, something that, I can definitely relate to. Not a lot of people kind of appreciate that because a lot of people that I've known never really have tried Peruvian food. So they don't understand, like, it's probably one of the best, in my opinion. I can't say that I'm favoring it because that's what my family is, but at the same time, I've noticed that's one of the foods where there's so many flavors and spices just of all over the place
Yeah.
compared to the
It's
other
like,
ones.
I read about it. It's like, didn't they have like huge influx of Chinese immigrants in the 1800s? So
Yeah.
it's like seasons, like seasoning from like Asia, but with Spanish food.
Yes.
So it's like all the spices from China with Spanish food. It's
Exactly.
like mixed into one. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have some fans in New Jersey that are Peruvian. They always help me out at whatever booth I'm at the convention every year. And so I told them, like, you better bring me some ceviche this time. I'm like, make your mom cook me ceviche this exotica and bring it to me, or I'm going to be mad at you.
So you're going to get a lot of food then.
I love them. They're one of my favorite fans ever.
That's very awesome because the thing is I remember speaking to Cindy Starfall actually a while back ago, and she actually had taken a photo. She went to go visit Peru. So we talked about it, and she said the same thing. She loves ceviche. And then I said, you know what? My mother and myself, we make a pretty mean pollo a la brasa. It's that roasted chicken with french fries and lettuce and stuff like that. Have you had that before?
Not that one. I had the ají de gallina. I like that one. The shredded chicken.
Oh, okay, nice.
Like yellow sauce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. So I said, hey, I'd bring her a dish. So if it's all right with you, I'll bring you a little bit of my Peruvian cuisine, see how you like it.
Oh. Yeah, bring me food.
There you go.
I'll be hungry. I'll be hungry at the convention.
Well, you're going to have to compare it to all the other Peruvians that are going to give you food, so
I'll
it's a
take all the
competition.
food. I'll take all of it. Just give it to me in a Tupperware and a fork, and
It'll be gone by the end of the night.
there you go. Since I'll be stuck at the booth all day, I'll need to eat. I'll need to eat some food.
Real quick, when it comes to, when you prepare for events like that, the conventions and the award ceremonies and, what's going to happen in January, you mentioned before, like, you have 5 suitcases with you. It's like, how difficult is it to kind of work on what type of wardrobe you're going to wear? Because, I think a lot of people also take that for advantage, too, when they see you at the convention. Oh, she's all dolled up, she's pretty, and I'm sure you wake up like that every day, Carmen.
Hell no.
But the reality of the situation is a lot of prepping and preparation goes into, you guys are probably up 3 hours before or up like way early in the morning to get your hair, your makeup done, your outfit set up, so you're there.
I usually just do my own makeup and stuff. Some girls suck at it, so they'll get like a makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
Me, like the last convention, Miami Exotica, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to overcomplicate it with a different outfit every day. So I wear the same outfit every day, but it was different outfit every day. So it was the same outfit looking one, but I bought like 3 different panties that were all the same looking, and then a pair of boots that matched, and then 3 different pasties that were all the same, like type. So I'm like, I look the same in every picture on every day, except my hair is a little different. But I was wearing different panties every day, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I'm over this. I just want to wear something hot and sexy. So, because sometimes it's like, okay, what am I going to wear for Friday? Okay, what am I going to wear for Saturday, the most popular day? And then Sunday is the slowest, but I still want to, look sexy. What do I wear? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to overcomplicate it. I'll just make sure I look super pretty in the face. That's all that matters. As long as you don't look like a cracked out whore and you look put together.
I love you keep saying cracked out whore.
I don't think it matters what outfit you have exactly, as long as it's like skimpy and provocative and something easy to take off so you can like do the topless pics with. So
Well, I'm a classy guy, so I'll never ask you to do a topless pic, so just letting you know that ahead of time. So you don't have to worry about lifting up your shirt or anything like that. Keep the shirt where it is.
When I charge for topless pics, you can grab my boobies. That's how. I'm like, grab my titties.
I'm a gentleman.
And that makes them buy it in like a heartbeat.
I'm a gentleman. I'll still buy your photo. Okay. Yeah, I'll buy your photo. I'll buy your merch. But I'm a gentleman. I'm only gonna grab those boobies if you want me to grab those boobies, not because I'm paying for them. That's more old school for me. Exactly. You know, it's easy to pay for everything. Hey, if she wants me to grab her boobies, she'll ask me to do it. I don't have to pay extra for that shit. But are there any particular personality traits that you're drawn to more in terms of, like, whether it be friendships or romantic relationships? You're drawn to those types of personalities more than opposed to people that are more, for example, reserved. You know, for example, somebody like me who's very introvert, I'm very reserved, but I'm actually more into the people that are very outgoing because for me, at least, it feels like it's a balancing thing. I can be very outgoing, but it depends on the personality traits. If somebody can be very comedical and don't take themselves too seriously, I tend to draw more to those types of people. Any particular ones for you?
I'm trying to think. Like, most of my friends aren't that outgoing, but they're not that introverted. It's like a in between.
Okay.
I'd probably say I'm more introverted than them. Like, I'd rather just stay at home all day and not talk to anyone. But I like
unless it's me, of course. Yes. Unless
humor.
It's me.
I love dry sense of humor, sarcasm. I like those kind of people. I think, I guess if you have those kind of traits, you're a little bit smarter. I don't like dumb people, that's for sure. Some of these new people, like newbie guys in like foreign, sometimes I'm like, how the fuck did you graduate high school? Like, how
they probably didn't.
How fucking dumb are you? I'm like, I can't talk to you. I feel like I'm losing brain cells. So
well, a lot of them haven't developed the social skills, unfortunately, I feel. And again, me growing up,
they have social skills, they're just dumb.
Well, I feel they have social skills more in terms of, they take their phone and they go on Twitter and they tweet and they text. That's their social skill. When it comes to actually talking one-on-one with a human being, they're either an idiot or they have no sense of, reality in their mind. That's my opinion, though, from my experience, at least with them. But, the way you had mentioned before in the past where you grew up very shy, very quiet. You weren't the popular girl in school and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny because I'm very quiet and shy by nature, but yet I got into a field that required me to either be face-on-face, one-on-one on camera.
This is but it's a field where we still don't have to talk to people in a way. Like, you're alone in the room by yourself, or with maybe 2-3 other people. You're not like really in a crowd of like 1,000 people having to talk to everyone like that. So
well, I've gone to conventions and that's always nerve-wracking, but once you get into the flow of it, it becomes a little bit more relaxed, which is why public speaking was such a difficult thing for me to do, because I was like, all these people are looking at me. Why are they staring at me? Because I never had that personality. But as you grow up, like you, for example.
You never took that class in college, communications,
Oh, I had to take it as a requirement. I was nervous about it.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, wait, everyone had to take that class.
Oh, yeah.
I had to do it.
Oh, by that time I was a master at it because I was good at, for example, how people say, oh, you're such a great, that performance was amazing. Looks like you really liked it. And in the back of your mind, you're like winking, haha, I got you, because I really didn't like it, but as long as you think so, that's all that matters. For public speaking, the reason why I did so well in public speaking, or maybe I'm doing a good job talking to you here, is because when I was in high school, I actually joined all the, the drama club, the musicals, when I had a singing voice back then. I didn't hit puberty. Once I hit puberty, my voice just shot down another octave. But once that happened, it kind of helped break me out of my shell, because instead of being shy, I could just be a character. I could just pretend to be this kind of person. I could speak eloquently and use my hands and, whatever, and it doesn't matter, because although I'm internally, a little afraid, I'm playing that off. So that's where I kind of clicked for me when it came to doing interviews and stuff like that, which most people say I do a pretty good job of. I would tend to be like, all right, if you think that way. But it's funny because everybody goes through that differently. It took that for me to break out of my shell. What did it take for you to break out of your shell? Because you're still, by nature, shy and quiet and want to keep to yourself. You're an introvert like me. Because right after this, I want to go work out or go hang at the couch and just watch TV and go to sleep. I don't really want to go out.
I just don't like small talk. Like, I'm like, I gotta start a conversation I don't give a fuck about. What do I say? This is so stupid. Why do I have to talk to these people?
Well, you're doing a great job with me, so I appreciate you.
I go to these conventions or events, and I'm like, I don't know this person. What the hell do I say? Like, hey, nice hair, like,
Oh, thank you so
how's your
much.
day going?
I
You
appreciate
know,
that. You like the part? It's really cool.
I like observing people before I talk to them. I don't like immediately going up and talking. Like, I like to observe, see what I can get. I'm good at reading people after
Hmm.
observing them for a little bit. I think that's just from all my years of being a stripper. You kind of have to learn how to read guys
Yeah.
if you want to sell lap dances and make money.
Hmm.
So it's just, but even when I was like in middle school or high school, or just like, I was never that girl who would go up to someone because I needed a friend. Like, I would literally be okay eating lunch by myself.
Me too.
It happened like in middle school and college. So in middle school, I went to this I went to a new school in 8th grade because I went to a magnet school. It was like for the visual and performing arts. So
Hmm.
I didn't know anyone. So like, in this lunchtime, I just went and sat in the corner of the table and just ate lunch. And I guess and I wasn't sad or anything. I didn't give a fuck. But I guess someone thought I looked sad. And like after like a week or two, these group of girls like, oh my god, we always see you eat lunch by yourself. You need a friend. And then they just started sitting with me every day. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. And then in college, the same thing happened. Like I transferred colleges to Florida, and I was living on campus, and the whatever dining room area because you can
Yeah.
eat there when you live on campus or whatever.
Hmm.
So I'm just eating there every day, and I'm just like, reading a book or on my fucking phone. And then everyone's like, oh my god, I see you here every day eating lunch all by yourself. I'm like, why do I have to eat lunch with people? Why does everyone think it's so sad to like eat lunch by yourself? Like what? I don't understand. There's nothing wrong eating by yourself. Like I don't have to deal with bullshit,
Yeah.
having to start a conversation with people I don't care about. But people are always like, "Oh, you need to eat," and then people are just start trying to be my friend, and those are usually the people I never really give a shit about. I never.
Yeah.
I never became really best friends with people who came up to me at lunch. The ones I became best friends with are the ones where I could observe for a little bit, be shy, and then once I observe their personality and see if I like them or not, then I would go up and like maybe start a conversation about something I think we had in common,
Hmm.
and that would be like in like science class or math class or some kind of thing. But I was always that person like, yeah, I don't really need friends. I already got the ones I have. I don't need to
You
go
need
up
any
to
more?
anyone. So I'll go to like some of these events and someone's like, why don't you go to this after party and go network? And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, why do I have to go network with people? If they want to book me, they'll look at my picture and be like, oh, hey, let me book her. She looks hot. Or, like, why do I have to, like, go out and I think networking's bullshit because half the time it's just like if you do go to those porn after party things or to go network with other talent or directors, those directors don't give a fuck about booking you. They want to fuck you or get their or get their dick sucked or something. Like
Yeah.
very few times has it ever ended in like a booking afterwards. Sometimes it's good to show your face, but I'll only go if I know someone I'm comfortable with.
Well, it worked for me at least. One out of
Yeah.
a million ain't bad. No, seriously, and there wasn't one of the after parties. It was more of like going to that a gentleman's club, Sapphire. I would go just introduce myself, more old school. I'd rather introduce myself to you than you. They send you a cold email. You have no idea who the fuck I am, type of scenario. As long as you
That
put
would have worked with me though. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right, let me respond back.
oh well, at least I know
Some
now.
emails work with me. Like, because like I don't want to go out and do more networking. I'd rather just stay at home with a cold email than go out to a club and then sit in the chair in a strip club for 3 or 4 hours. So.
Yeah, I didn't sit for 3 or 4 hours. It was basically an hour there. I was waiting for the featured dancer to get off stage, introduce myself, gave my business card, reach back out with an email. I didn't hear anything back. At least I did my part in a sense. So
Oh, that's true.
that's the
Yeah.
mindset I had. For example, there was one person that I went to, introduced myself. The following day, she remembered who I was, and I like to feel the tension was broken because I wasn't some strange weirdo coming up to them. Hey, can I do an interview with you? They kind of knew who I was. I conducted myself very professionally, and so like, okay, what?
I'm just copying you. Sorry, I thought that was funny. Like,
I can do an interview with you, Carmen. You're so cool. What's your favorite sexual position?
what's your
But
favorite color?
yeah, it's your favorite color. If you were a
When are you gonna do
tree,
anal?
we do anal again after the 1,500 times saying no. We do it now. We do it now. But yeah, it's just the way it goes, though. But Carmen, I've had a pleasure talking to you. I know we've kind of exceeded the time we were supposed to, but you know what? I don't care because it was fun for me. So
Oh, thank
hopefully
you.
you tolerated it because I know you didn't want to do this, but I appreciate it anyway.
I did want to
I'm
do it. Don't
joking.
do
That's my
that.
sarcasm. Do you get it? That's my
Just give me
sarcasm.
Peruvian food when you see me.
Oh, see, now
You're
that's now you're asking for something in return. Now you want the Peruvian food to kind of as payment for this. Is that the way
damn
it's going?
right. Damn right.
Well, you're smarter than you look. I'm joking. Now you're an intelligent woman. Like I've said before with a lot of people I've interviewed, and I really mean this sincerely. No joking. This is no bullshit here. I don't think you guys get told enough. How thankful I am for what you guys do. It's not the sex work. It's not in terms of the scenes that you guys do where you guys are selling and promoting with these sex stores and stuff like that. I really honestly, Carmen, admire your work ethic, your hustle, your drive, your determination, because honestly that's what I'm trying to do myself too. So when I see individuals like yourself who, I relate to you to a bit because I feel like personality wise we're kind of somewhat similar because we're very introverted and keep to ourselves, but we're also both very sarcastic. Most people don't understand that and they think I'm being an asshole to them sometimes, but I just tell it like it is.
Oh yeah, I get that too sometimes. Like, why are you so mean? I'm like, I have to like laugh afterwards sometimes so they get
Yeah.
it. Or
Or my
if I'm
face stays
typing a tweet,
monotone.
put LOL.
Yeah, if you don't put LOL, they'll completely think you're being an asshole to them. But no, I do really appreciate because to see somebody as you, and you seem to be very good-hearted and humble just by speaking to you for this amount of time, and hopefully I get a chance to see you in November. It just means a lot to me because it really shows me that hard work does pay off, and you're living proof of that. And not only have you had a successful career right now to this point, depending how long you want to do it, completely up to you. But I just have so much admiration for everything you do, so I thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And like I said, besides that, any other plans besides the ones we just talked about in terms of the award show, Exotica in January? If you do take some time off, what would you want to do? Just hang out at home, or would you want to go someplace and kind of get away from everything?
I'm waiting till Southwest starts flying to Hawaii, and then I want to go to Hawaii.
Nice.
I'm saving up my Southwest points right now. So.
Oh, right now as we're doing this, you're checking out Southwest points?
Yeah, because they're supposed to start flying to Hawaii like
Okay.
later this year, and Southwest, your points never expire, and I always fly Southwest, so because I have free luggage and I have so much porn fucking shit to bring everywhere all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like feature dancing somewhere. I have all this like costumes and luggage. I go to LA to shoot porn. I have to bring all my porn outfits and then normal clothes and then makeup,
Yeah.
and then conventions, all the DVDs and outfits and everything. So
Are you going to be doing any
I've been
feature
saving my
dancing?
points up, and I'm like, ooh, they're gonna fly to Hawaii. That's gonna be my next vacation.
That's awesome. I'll live vicariously through you because I've never been. I definitely want to. Got to check that off the
Me
bucket
either.
list.
I've never been either.
Well, you're going to eventually, so I'll be excited for you, and that'll be genuine to see. Carmen's enjoying Hawaii. But any feature dancing in terms of here in the New York metropolitan area in the near future?
No bookings in the New York area. Maybe
Okay.
tell your Sapphire Club to book me.
No, I'll do my best, but again, I'm just one man. But again, they
They
call
don't
me the
like it. I
trendsetter.
have an Austin Powers Fembot costume. I made it myself, and it has fire titties. Fire goes off on my costume.
From your juggies?
My little booby area. Yeah, you know how they have the little gun tits that shot bullets.
Yeah.
It doesn't shoot bullets, but I made a little.
I would
area
hope not, for God's sake.
where I can pop like the, like when someone buys a bottle in like a strip club or a club, and they have those little sparkler things attached to the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I rigged that to the titties.
Well, hopefully you don't light yourself on fire, for God's sakes, Carmen. Being a fembot, that's a dangerous thing.
It's a cool costume if you want to see that show ever. And I have a penis that I made that shoots out confetti, like it like comes confetti. So I made that myself too.
Wow.
I'm very creative when it comes
You
to
are.
stuff.
That's something we got to talk about the next
How
time.
to rig this.
Yeah, the next time I have you on, or when I talk to Exotica, we got to dive more into this. You're a very creative mind. of things that most people probably wouldn't consider doing. A penis that shoots confetti, tits that spark up and light and don't shoot bullets, thank God. Because that would really suck in the nightclub. But
Just fire, just like sparkler fire, the little sparkler stuff, but bigger.
yeah, but I actually came across you too when Lauren Phillips actually mentioned you in a recent interview I did. She had the nicest things to say about you because you guys actually did something. She was promoting that her and Angelina Castro were doing this team BJ thing that you did with Lauren not too long ago for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, we did it last year for the football
Yeah,
stuff.
for football, yeah. And to me, it's just like, wow, this actually exists. It's an amazing concept. Like, guys must have been lining up ridiculously to dive in on something like this.
Well, when we did it, we had like how many guys? Like 30 something guys show up.
That's a lot of people.
So, yeah, that was the biggest one ever. I don't know about this upcoming one, how many guys are going to show up. But I just remember when we did it just kept getting more and more. We were the third team BJ event because my webmaster started it
Hmm.
like years ago. And so the first one, I think it wasn't with me. It was like Sarah J and Angelina. They did the first team BJ, and only like four to six guys showed up. It wasn't that many. And
Wow.
then the second one, it was like Siri and Sarah J, and I think they had like 14 or 16 or 16, 18 guys show up. And then Lauren and I did it. Then we had like 33 or 36 show up.
Crazy.
So I think when guys are like realize like, oh wow, they actually are doing it, then it is worth the time and money to head on over there and get it. Like they're not lying. They're really gonna. The only thing that we required was them to like get STD tested that week of, and then pay for their own hotel and travel. So.
Now the week up, like I'm new to this, so if they wanted to get tested, right? Like for example, the one's currently coming up, I think Lauren told me it's gonna be November 1st, somewhere in New Jersey, right? So if somebody get tested, can they get tested the day of, or do you have to wait for the results? Do you guys wait for the results when you guys get tested, or do you get the
Usually
same
you have
day?
to wait like 24 to 48 hours for the results, and you have to test through a certain they have to test through a certain testing site that all the porn stars use. It's usually like talent testing.
Hmm.
And then you go to like a draw facility, they draw it, then they mail it to the main location like Miami or Vegas or LA. And then you usually get your results the next day, or if you're up in Jersey or New York, you get like 2 days later because it's so far, but they overnight it and they do a full panel. So, if you want your dick sucked, you gotta be clean. You can't be dirty.
No, yeah,
So,
exactly. But I'm just curious, for example, for most people, like, so I guess they have to plan, if it's done on a Thursday, they have to get tested on a Tuesday. So it comes back on Thursday. Or can they get tested like the week before?
that's what we don't want usually we did like the week of, like within like 7 days.
Within a 7 day span? Hmm.
Yeah, because we didn't want like it to be too old of a test, and then every guy was told like, look, you have to test through this facility, and then only one guy showed up like an idiot and with a doctor's like note from a private doctor, like, no, did you not follow directions? Like, I think he was just too cheap to spend money on it because your insurance doesn't cover it
Yeah.
through that testing site, so um you have to pay full price, which is about 155, and then for shipping it's like $35.
Hmm.
So it is kind of pricey. Porn stars have to do it every 2 weeks, so you're
Yeah.
shelling out like $200 every week, unless you live in like LA or Vegas or Miami where you can go to the main facility. Then you don't have to pay for the shipping, which saves you like $35.
Yeah. So
And
every
you don't
little
have to
bit
pay
helps,
for a draw
basically.
fee, which saves you another $25.
Well, that's awesome, man. And let's say God bless you guys for doing something like that, because I'm sure as exciting as it was for the guys, for you and Lauren, probably at that time, and Lauren's going to do it this coming November before Exotica with Angelina Castro. It's definitely a long day at work for you guys. Depending, it's 34 was for the Super Bowl. Who knows who's going to be there for the World Cup scenario type of thing. So it's crazy. The things you guys do in terms of to please your fans goes far and beyond anything that I would ever consider doing. But I have so much respect for you for that in terms that you guys did it. So would you ever do one again or no?
Yeah, possibly. Well, I just have to pick a good sport for the next one. Just this summer, I just couldn't for like various reasons. I wanted to, but I couldn't, so I had to pull out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, maybe there hasn't been a hockey one yet, so maybe that.
Yeah, Stanley Cup. There you go.
Find a popular sport where you think there's enough fans to do it.
Well, football is always the ideal, most popular one, but yeah, maybe we should do hockey. Basketball, that's always one too. Baseball?
That one's already been done, though.
Basketball has been done?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the first one when Miami Heat won. Sarah Jane and Angelina Castro did that one.
Well, awesome. So then it'll have to be hockey then. Hopefully you're involved in it, or if not, like I said, it looks like it's gaining popularity, and so excited to be speaking to you in terms of how your career's progressed. Can't wait to see you at Exotica, New Jersey. Definitely see you in Las Vegas as well. So hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for this interview. Greatly appreciate it. And by all means, let's keep in touch and let's do this again sometime down the road.
Thank you. Definitely. I look forward to it.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another successful episode of Adventures with the Trendsetter in the books. I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Brian Berga. Thanking you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you want to keep up with my shenanigans and what I'm doing, you can catch me on Twitter at Brian Berga, as well as what I'm doing here with my tag team partner every Friday on the High Spot Podcast. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all one word, High Spot Podcast. We post episodes every Friday. Make sure you check out our website as well, highspotpodcast.com. Also, check out the website, brand new, adventureswithtrendsetter.com, as I cover all of the adult film world for you guys. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'll catch you guys next time. And remember, although I must bid you adieu and good fortune, remember, I do this for one reason and one reason only. I do this for you, the crew.